Hello everyone, in this video we're going to analyze a game between the FIDE master Salakhutdinov against Perkins. The FIDE master Salakhutdinov is white against Perkins that is black. In this game white played e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, so we're going to play Sicilian, in which black played g6. There's a common variation, there's a common line, play g6 to fight for the dark squares. And then white played castle, bishop g7, rook e1, and then knight f6. When we play knight f6, we must pay attention because knight f6 allow white to play 5, so the knight would be immediately under attack. This can be a potential problem. But it's completely fine because after knight f6 and, for example, e5, let's say they go e5 here, we don't have. Okay. We don't have big problems because after e5 we can go knight e5, and then the knight is relatively safe because even if white will continue playing c4, then I can simply jump to c7, and on c7 this knight is very, very safe and is also doing a good job because the knight can attack the bishop on b5. So basically in this position it's also possible for black to play moves like e5 to fight and stop e4, and then later play knight e7 or maybe knight f6 to hold the knight. But knight f6 makes sense because even if there is e5 immediately, the knight has a good maneuver playing d5 and c7, for example, so it's not a big problem. In the game white didn't play e5, white plays c3. After that, castle. And so what happens? So basically now, so now there is castle, and after castle, white played e5, attacking the knight. Is correct to play knight on the center, so knight e5 makes sense. White plays d4, black plays cd4, bishop c6, pawn c6, knight takes e4. Probably is more precise for white to play cd4, because the point about this position is that white now has space advantage, especially on the king side. White can have good plan to attack. We can imagine moves like bishop g5, for example, followed by queen d2 and trying to attack the king, offering the trade for the trinket of bishop. This can be one idea for sure. So in this kind of position, I prefer for white to keep my pawn e5 very solid, and take with the pawn I think is slightly better. In this position, white took with the knight, but taking with the knight, other hand, it's easier for black in this position because the e5 pawn is difficult to defend, and it's very difficult to play f4 to attack. So let's say bishop b7. Maybe queen c7 immediately can be more precise to attack the pawn immediately. Basically we force, or we're trying to force f4, and after f4 white can protect the pawn very well, but is weakening a bit his king, and we can exploit it using the very nice counterplay with f6. f6 is a very nice move to counterplay in the center because now we offer the trade, maybe takes, and then after rook f6, the pawn f4 is under attack 3 times. Maybe g3 can be a way to defend it, but then black has a very nice continuation with c5, knight f3, and for example bishop b7. So basically the point is that now the white king is very weak, and black has a lot of initiative against the king because bishop is active, knight is active, the rook can work, so everything is in black favor. So I like this position for black. That's why I think for black was more precise to play queen c7, to take immediately the pawn e5, maybe forcing to play 4 and then attack with f6. This was a very nice idea. Black played more like solid with bishop b7 to develop and bring other pieces in the game. White plays c4, trying to remove the knight, knight b6. Now I prefer to play knight c7. Why I prefer knight c7? Because after knight b6, maybe white can play b3, and this knight doesn't have a real good. The knight doesn't have real good squares. But if I go, for example, c7, maybe I can go, for example, knight d6. So my knight can play well, and then I can have other squares in which then I can go. So knight b6, c5. Okay, then knight d5, then I can go back. Knight f3, queen c7, knight f3. I guess even here f4, it's a problem for white, because after f4 maybe it's possible for black to try to open the position going into 6. And opening the position is in black favor, because black has a bishop pair, the white king is weakened, and if black can open the position very soon, it's in the black favor. So that's why f4 isn't a great idea for white, and it's correct for white playing knight f3 in this case to defend e5. d6 was played anyway, correct to open the position. E d6, e d6, pawn d6, queen d6, and then knight c4. The queen has to go away, then queen c7, queen a4. And here knight b6 offering the trade. The idea is that after the trade, black can improve his structure. So that's why you offer this trade. But then white d10 stepped out, so c5. c5 is very important, and is also very good. It's very important because now black is opening the bishop, making pressure against the knight. And at the same time, c5 can take control of this square d4. That maybe in the future can be good for the bishop, or potentially for the knight if black can move his knight there. So black is playing well because black is playing for the bishop pair advantage, and I think now black is slightly better. So in this position now black is slightly better. So white played knight d5, rook e8, correct, opening, bringing other piece in the game. Bishop f4, bishop takes. Okay, now there is a tactical problem for white because the bishop on f4 is undefended. That's a problem. And playing bishop takes f3, now white is forced to take back hit, but not with the knight, because if he takes with the knight, then black wins the bishop. So that's why white is forced to make something strange. Even g takes f3 doesn't work, because then we have bishop e5, and black can always win a piece. So basically after 95, we can say 95 and rook e8, I think white loses a piece, because the rook only one is a problem. Even if white plays before knight c4, knight d3, I think black is winning after bishop e4, threatening this e4 to weaken the structure. So yeah. So after rook e8 and bishop f4 is very good bishop f3, and black wins a piece basically. White tries to complicate going knight takes g6, but then queen c6 is completely fine, removing the queen and defending the bishop on f3. That's very good. Ladder knight e5, bishop e5, bishop e5, bishop g2. And what happened? Black is up a full piece. No pawns for white for that, and also the white king is very weak. So I think the game is completely lost. Rook e6 is very good. A good way to defend is bring the rook in the 6th rank. Now no checkmate threats are available for white, because after queen g5, simply rook g6 can be enough to defend. And then rook e5, sorry, rook e3 trying to bring the rook into the game, but then rook e8, h4, we did that to play h5 and remove the square, but then rook g6, rook g3, bishop h1. Now black is threatening take, followed by mate on g2. So bishop h1 is a very nice threat. White is playing rook g5. Now black cannot take, because after rook g5, white takes with the queen, and white can have the checkmate. So it's very interesting that there are checkmate threats on both sides, but the main problem is that black is up a piece. So I think the game is still lost. I don't know, maybe rook g5 is too early. Maybe black could force the trade playing h6. h6 was more precise. I for the trade, and then I take with the pawn. The queen is under attack, the pawn is defended by the queen, and he has to defend the mate on g2, so maybe queen h3 was the only way. And I think I take the bishop, winning another piece. So yes, I think h6 was completely winning. but probably black thought that in this way could simplify in a very easy way, and that's why I played it this way. So his idea was that after the trade, take, king takes, rook takes, and black can play an endgame with the piece up. So okay, with h6 probably black can have 2 pieces more. In this case, he has only 1, but he's still winning because in the endgame 1 piece can be enough to win. So f4, queen g5. Okay, now black is going to simplify. It's correct. So simplify is a good idea for the play that has an advantage. And now knight c4. Okay, black is trying to improve his pieces. h6. Yeah, the idea about h6 is that after g takes, the king can be improved, and that's the reason why h6 to open the king. In that game, the king is very important. Rook there, and now black is playing for the checkmate with the knight plus bishop plus rook. Rook c8, king h7, check, king g6. The king can escape, and now the pawn is taken. Black improves his king, and after b3, knight e3. Very important knight e3 because it's scoring a lot of squares, it's defending the bishop, so maybe now the king is free to go king f3, for example, or king takes f4 like in this case. Rook away. Now I think the game is completely lost because the threat is very easy. Rook g2 mate. So now resigned after knight g3 because the mate is unstoppable and it can resign. This game was very nice. Basically, we have the topic about the bishop pair, in which there is one player that has a good interest to open the position and another player that should play a closed position. Basically, the key points of the game are bishop c6 when there is this trade, and later, a very important key moment is when black plays the move d6. That is very important because remember, when you have the bishop pair, you need to play open positions, and d6 is a good way to open. Later was very interesting when at one point black plays c5. Very important to activate the bishops, and then white made a blunder going knight e5. When you play against the bishop pair, maybe it's easier to make mistakes because the bishops are covering a lot of squares, and now with knight e5 made a blunder because after rook 8 basically there is no real defense after that, because imagine even knight g4 there is bishop f3, and after rook e8, pawn f3, rook e1. You don't lose that piece immediately, but this position is very, very strong for black. There is knight f4, the bishop is blocked, the rook on e1 is undefended, so the game is won for black in this case. So this was the key point, and after knight e5, black takes his material advantage, then black tries to simplify, he simplifies, he goes in the endgame, in which he can also play for the checkmate because his king was weak, and that's very nice game, very nice example in which Perkins was a very nice game against the FIDE master Salakhutdinov Ilder in the American Open played in 2016. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon for new videos. Have a good day. Bye.